Hey everyone, welcome back to Canton Insiders, the quick podcast show by CatalyX by IntellectEU, where we sit down with the people building on the Canton Network. Today, I'm joined by Stan Havryliuk, the co-founder and CEO of SATS Terminal, and the team behind the OneSwap on Canton. Stan comes from the Bitcoin DeFi world, and he's gonna build a swap protocol on Canton, which is pretty different environment to build in and operate in, I would say. So we will get into why the team picked Canton, how the DEX actually works on a privacy-enabled network, and what it meant to become a featured app on Canton, and who is showing up to use it. Stan, great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Bohdan. Thank you for inviting me, and glad to talk with you today and maybe share a little bit more knowledge about OneSwap and our background.
Yeah, sure. So to start with, before we go to the OneSwap, can you tell us briefly about yourself and how you ended up building on Canton?
Yeah, definitely. So I started in crypto actually many years ago in end of 2017. Since then, I've been scaling different startups, working with companies until we founded SATS Terminal in 2024, where we've been mainly focused on Bitcoin DeFi. But about 6 months ago, we decided to expand into Canton and started building trading products on Canton. And that's where I am right now.
Okay. So what is OneSwap? So yeah, as from my research, the SATS terminal is known for self-custodial Bitcoin native DeFi, let's say, and Canton is built for institutions and privacy, kind of the opposite of the spectrum from the feeling and from how it sounds. What did you see in Canton that the Bitcoin or EVM worlds don't offer?
Yeah. So indeed, we started in SATS Terminal with building an effortless trading experience. That was our first product. We started with an aggregator for Bitcoin tokens to enable people to easily swap any Bitcoin token through our front end or our infrastructure. And we really enjoyed it. And we had a very successful run with the trade product on SATS Terminal, got more than 35 SDK integrations, including powering at one point swaps at number one NFT marketplace called magiceden.com. But unfortunately, as it sometimes happens in crypto, the narrative shifted, users left, and Bitcoin token space became way too small for us to remain in that dynamic in that group of users. So we decided to expand to Bitcoin loans, and as you mentioned, we built sort of a kayak for Bitcoin-backed loans on SATS terminal side. But inside, we really love to build trading products. And I was in touch with Canton folks probably for a year before, even like since May 2025. I first heard about Canton in May 2025 at Tim Draper's event from guys from Fairmint that are super validator right now. And then I was in active discussion with a lot of participants that were building early on Canton. And by November, December, we made our mind that we want to go and build on Canton Network. And we decided to build OneSwap because we saw that there are not that many DEXs in this space with not that much liquidity, but there is a huge demand from builders, people that are working in companies in Canton to swap CC to USDC or other tokens. And it was not so obvious. A lot of products require KYC, a lot of products require pretty demanding onboarding process. So our goal was let's build fast and let's build effortless swap. That's why we decided even to call it OneSwap. It's like pretty clear what we are offering. We are offering swaps in Canton Network. And our goal was to build effortless swap, bring liquidity, bring activity, bring trading, and then eventually focus more on the infrastructure B2B side. Because we have already huge existing distribution with SATS Terminal. We're integrated with some of the biggest wallets, some of the biggest front ends, and why not to use that? We have that bargaining chip. Why not to use it? And we decided to build a trading product on Canton and then eventually use our connections to bring it to pretty much every single place in Web3 and maybe even above to allow users globally to trade Canton assets.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Can we see a brief demo or OneSwap in action? Just a quick overview of main features.
Absolutely, why not? I think that's a great idea. So again, like reiterating on that effortless vibes, effortless product design. We wanted to build it very simple, no distractions. I already connected my wallet, but the process starts with connecting one of your wallets. That's either Loop Console, and we are adding a couple of other wallets right now to the mix as well. Then once you connect the wallet, straight away you go to the swap section where you have available assets. Currently it's three, but next week we're going with another listing, and in 2 weeks another follows. Let's say you want to swap CC to USDC. Here you see the current APR on the liquidity pool, the price, and then by pretty much inputting the CC amount, let's say I want to buy 100 CC worth of USDC, I get a quote, slippage, network fee, and then I can pretty much initiate the swap and receive it to my wallet. In liquidity tab, you see the pools where you can easily provide liquidity to any of the pools. For example, in CC USDC, we have right now like give or take 50K to enable smaller retail swaps. And then in the view positions, you can see how your liquidity investment is doing. In track, you see your history of transactions. As you can see, I initiated some are completed, some are canceled. And the last one is pretty much leaderboard to help us to identify who are the top swappers, who are the top users in the OneSwap. And that's it.
That looks amazing. And from the Canton perspective, so Canton has privacy. Is it configurable in OneSwap? Who can see what and who can't see some of the swaps or trades, or is it just like public right now?
Yeah, so I think the privacy aspect, it's pretty important, for example, for our Bitcoin loans users, definitely big time. They would love to have that type of feature. But currently we're catering with OneSwap, we're catering to a slightly different audience, I would say. I see that there is a certain demand from, again, users that are in the ecosystems, people that are related to products building in the ecosystem, etc., to enable just simple swap. And for OneSwap, that's pretty much our focus. Let's get liquidity, let's improve the trading conditions, and only then we can start taking care of the privacy aspect, because there is simply no ask for that from users. And given that we are, more product driven company, we listen to our users first of all. If 50 people, 100 people will come to us and say, hey, we want to make sure that this is a black box where no one can see the transactions, how it is happening, all the, let's say, accounting is happening, maybe even off chain, then we can have a conversation. Until then, our plan would be more liquidity, more activity, cheaper fees, better experience.
Okay. Yeah, and I recently got stormed by the post from the Canton that you became the featured app on the network. So congrats on that. And for anyone who doesn't know the program, so being a featured app means OneSwap can earn Canton Coin rewards as people use it. Yeah. So what did it take for you to get the status of the featured app, and what has it unlocked for you?
To give a short answer, I think contrary to some of the builders that I was talking with in the space, for us it was pretty fast. I think it's because we already have reputation and brand built through SATS terminal and it's recognizable startup. And I think that helped us to move pretty fast. But also on top of that, the MVP for OneSwap was ready pretty much like in 2 weeks. So we got a validator right after that. And then right away we applied for a featured app. What it means for us? Well, it's a seal of recognition. It's great to be a part of the community. It's great to be a part of some of the first projects that recognize the potential of Canton Network and started building here. We see it as a big benefit more from the reputation brand standpoint and less as a monetary value from the featured app rewards, because I believe that eventually there would be either very low rewards or no rewards at all, and Canton would eventually shift to being like closed ecosystem that is producing value on its own. So for us, key focus, let's make revenue on the platform day one. And we see we are very happy that we are incentivized to come and build on Canton, but our long-term vision is that we need to build a self-sustainable business within the ecosystem, first of all.
Okay, that's a great commitment. Another question, how do you think about the security on a chain like Canton? So you've got some audit out, which is great to see. What does your security model look like? And is the risk picture on Canton different from what you used to on the Bitcoin or EVM chains?
That's a great question. I'll give you a little bit of indirect answer to this. I think that we are living in a very interesting, fast-pacing time with AI, and I think that potential intruder, someone who wants to target a protocol or a product, right now with the AI power, it becomes so much easier. Last 6 months, how many DeFi hacks we had? Some of them social engineering, sure, but a lot of them were like technical exploit. So I think right now, no matter what chain you're building on, you are at asymmetrical danger from the intruder, because you as a builder, you need to think about 10,000 plus things that have to work perfectly fine to avoid any issues, while the intruder needs to find just one vulnerability to get through. So I think realistically, we are all at higher risk moving forward than, like, let's say 5 years ago, because I think just bad actors have more capabilities of attacking you. But with that said, we are also using AI. We can also run a bunch of agents. We can do a lot of tests. We can stress test the system. And even the audit that we did, it's just the conclusions of pretty much 3 audits that we did back to back. And we were testing the full system, how it works, whether there are any vulnerabilities to pools, any vulnerabilities to swaps. And our conclusion is very simple. We want to avoid including unnecessary features. OneSwap is built right now to enable effortless swaps, and that's what we are focusing in. And I think if you are just focused on one product line and you're not expanding and you're not adding more and more products without giving them proper maintenance, you would be more or less safe, 99% safe.
Okay, interesting take. Thank you. And I also wanted to ask for any new DEX coming to the network, to any network. I would say that liquidity is the hard problem. So where does OneSwap's liquidity come from today? Yeah, and how are you going to expand it?
Yeah, we put some initial very tiny pool ourselves, maybe like a couple $1,000 and a little bit of CC. All of the other liquidity that we have right now, it was provided by partners, by users that we have on the platform. When it goes to how we think about getting more TVL to the platform, I think it goes hand in hand. You have your first, let's say, milestone. You want to bootstrap certain amount of liquidity. You want to hit certain amount of activity with that TVL. Then you go to the second milestone where you are onboarding not just simple retail users, beta testers, and early adopters. You're going maybe to market makers or bigger traders, or you start working directly with projects. Then it requires much more investment on the liquidity side. We are currently at the end of phase one, I would say. We started listing new tokens. Well, we went live on 25th of May. It was just,
Yeah.
what, 2 weeks ago. So it's we just started, but we're moving pretty fast. We are listing already new tokens. Currently, the liquidity that is available in the pool is enough to make under 1% slippage swaps for $500. Eventually, we want to increase it to 1,000, 10,000, and so on. How we are planning to add liquidity right now, we are onboarding new projects to the exchange. That's the easiest way for us to get some first integrations, first transactions coming in through new pairs. And new pairs allow us to accumulate a little bit more revenue and then put more liquidity into CC, USDC. So for now, it would be working like that. But of course, when the time comes, we have a pretty decent network of LPs that are very, very interested in Canton right now. And it's just not 100% necessary right now.
Okay, yeah, I think a lot of people are getting interested in Canton right now, so it shouldn't be a problem to find the liquidity providers for you guys, and good luck with that. I wanted to ask, since you're pretty new on the Canton, what's next? How do you see the ideal version of the OneSwap with its development and the customers you attract in 1 year from now on Canton?
It's, if you would have this call maybe last week, I would have a completely different answer. I would just tell you that we would be focusing on expanding on the infrastructure and swap side. But currently, we're seeing that there are actually more opportunities on Canton in trading, not only swapping. We're looking a little bit into options trading. We were looking into replicating maybe some of the projects that we started at SATS terminal and maybe want to move them to Canton. So there are a lot of question marks right now. And I think right now, with all of the dynamic, quick changes for Canton, it's hard to predict where we will be in 1 year. I know for sure that we would want to be number one on-chain platform for swaps, and that's our core business. We will focus on that. And then everything else in the next 12 months would be secondary. But I can maybe hint a little bit in a way that we saw a couple of successful playbooks in Bitcoin ecosystem, and we want to bring that to Canton.
Okay, sounds like a nice plan. Good luck with that, guys. And I think I don't have any other questions. So thank you for the amazing discussion. I will link the links to the Stan and to OneSwap into the description so you guys can check it out. And yeah, we are closing soon the second season of the Canton Insiders by CatalyX by IntellectEU. There will be episode with Stan, maybe a few more, and then the wrap up of the season 2. So thank you for watching and staying with me, with us. Yeah, and just for everyone to refresh the mind, the CatalyX is the product suite for Canton operations. And if you're building on Canton or running infrastructure, CatalyX Blockchain Manager handles your validator and node operations. CatalyX Package Manager is how teams publish and discover Canton applications, such as OneSwap. Maybe in the future there will be also integration to CatalyX Package Manager. And yeah, more products in the product suite. So check it out at catalyx.solutions. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, Stan, for joining me. Amazing discussion.
Thank you, Bohdan. Bye-bye. You have a good one.